Hello everyone, how are you my dear viewers, and what is going on with your games? If you are wondering about me, I think I started figuring out the Exodia combo within me, and it seems that Trinity Force is the core idea behind my playstyle. With this item, Volibear feels a bit different. The only issue with this item is that it is very expensive, and getting it around the 10 minutes mark can be challenging sometimes. In this game, we will be facing a peculiar team. It got everything that I hate in it, and that mainly Lulu support and Lissandra. If you are like myself and enjoy playing melee champions, these two will make you question life itself. That is why I'll try in this game a new approach. Of course, the early start is the same as usual, but I'll be playing with the mindset of an ad carry. In other words, we will only commit to plays that I feel I'll come out alive from those situations. Among one of the previous games, the jungler had a ward in his chickens, and that didn't give me an edge. Hence, I went with the sweeper start in this game. If there is a ward in the enemy red side, I'll do a weirder pacing, and that is from his red to my red into my top side. If not, I'll skip only grumps and go right away to bot side. Also, regarding my rune setup, you might wonder, what is Grasp of the Undying doing there? Let me, my friend, tell you something about this rune. First, the name is epic, and it enforces the idea that you can keep ramping damage in the fight with your bite. And second, this rune does something else, and that is you come out winning out of bad situations. Oddly enough, the cumulative extra health that you gain with this rune can be up to 300 health on a normal game, and the damage is not bad at all. Hence my advice with this rune. If you don't know what rune to pick on Volibear against a composition, or you feel you might lose the early game, this rune will give you a somewhat safe pass into the mid-game. First mission was a success. We denied Udyr the red buff and no one knows about it. Now this is the first test to your bot side and mid lane. If they rotate without you pinging, then you will most likely win this game. If they come after some pings, then it is a 50-50 game, and if they don't come at all, well, no need to explain that one. Simply forsake all drakes and focus on your top side, and don't even dare to look into their general direction. If you play your cards right, a level 3 Volibear with full health can win against almost any enemy jungler. Never lost a duel that early so far. And that was against Lee, Graves, Hecarim, and Kha'Zix. Maybe in the future, if someone picks Teemo jungle, I'll lose miserably against that monstrosity. Now imagine yourself in this Udyr's place. He decided to solo invade my side, and that tells a lot about his gameplay decision. Also, neither Lulu or Lissandra helped him, and that will offset an avalanche of tilt that is very beneficial to our team. I am not saying that this is a sacred formula, and whenever you invade this will happen. But what I am saying is that the only better thing to do beside this is to kill Udyr in his red side and get the first blood yourself. I might try that into future games, and let you know guys what is the possible future that awaits for the true meaning of beware high bear activity in the jungle. Danger son. Also fuck Lulu, polymorph is a click-on ability from range with no prep up or anticipation, go figures. I guess after rewatching the game it was my mistake. I should have waited until the tree rooted that 2 6 feet tall witch and killed her first. Now to be honest with you, I am not that confident in this Malphite for one main reason. From where I live, people pick Malphite when they suffer from lag and FPS drop, and they go for that champion to mitigate that effect. Get level 6 full tank and press R. Thankfully, after the upcoming patches, I am sure that at least on EU West, Malphite pick rate will drop drastically. On the other hand, I really want to shut down the progress of this Riven. I can look for Udyr and challenge him to a duel and keep the game in this state. I call it the passive income strategy, even though we are losing in terms of kills, but we are slowly winning regarding the gold potential. And after we acquire our level 6, the tempo of the game will change heavily. What the hell is going on? And you had to go die a shameful death. I think this Malphite is one of those guys. He simply died just like that. Well, whatever, let's go back to what I was saying. The tempo of the game will change heavily in our favor. You can say the same about the enemy team, but we have the superior ultimates, and the mid-game should be hugely in our favor. I don't know what this Udyr is doing. I think he Skyped his top side, and he is focusing now my red side in the hope of getting ahead using my bot side immobile ad carry. Well, I know for sure that Riven has used her valuable summoners and ultimate. In other words, if we play this properly, the top tower should be ours, and we will secure the first blood tower of this game. But look at this champion. I think in the future, Riven players will stop buying boots and simply rush cooldown since her dashes is faster than everyone else. And Riot thinks this is what skill in this game means. Truly sad life. I consider this a huge win. You don't get the chance to kill Lissandra in every game. Most of these players are very cautious, and if they manage to buy Zhonya's hourglass, it is impossible to get them, and thank God the frost item is gone. Also, while I am inducing tilt at multiple layers on this game, I should also prevent my enemy from losing their cool. For example, I know Katarina players don't care about farm at all, but a small gesture can keep her composure until we reach that stage of the game where she'll shine and possibly get a pentakill. I do care about my allies. It is just not everyone get the same treatment. Her early game movements were always toward my side of the jungle. In higher ELO, it can be a tell about where is the enemy jungle, but as long you are below Emerald, Think of it as a friendly mindfulness about your actions. I don't think that Riven will think I am still waiting for her in this bush. The announcer has showed that the grubs are gone. We are now in a 50-50 situation. The funny thing, I typed bite to me since he was always dying alone in the top side, but I don't think he understood what I meant because he is standing exactly on my champion. After this patch, we will be saying goodbye to these numbers. 2 minutes and 10 seconds with 20 ability haste. That is truly a ripoff. I wonder, does all Volibear player use the ultimate around towers, or most of the time it is just used to close the gap and get a kill or two? Truly a satisfying kill. After taking a sneak peek on the scoreboard, it seems that Malphite doesn't care much about farming. Hence, I'll take the opportunity to absorb all that I can get with no remorse. What I hate about the second recall is that I spend a lot of gold to get tier 2 boots. I feel that getting damage or health is much beneficial in the mid-game than completing your boots. I think in the future I'll forsake the idea of taking defensive boots and buy only cooldown boots or movement speed to bring out the best out of my purchases. My first take on topside is almost over. If I come back in this lane, it would be to get the inhibitor. But as you can see, there are plenty of towers on the map, and taking an inhibitor this early in the game and not capitalizing on it will only give the enemy free gold. By the way, I hate with a passion Lulu. At least turn her polymorph into 2 phases spell not a no-brain ability. For some reason, being polymorphed feels worse than being stunned, even if it was the same duration. Overall, the score now is looking good. We can feel that the momentum of the game is now in our favor. Also, some lucky moments can show you that everyone on your team is having a somewhat good time. Also, I want to point out that if you get Trinity Force this early on in the game, if you see a free lane, simply push it and take that down tower and enjoy those plunders of gold and experience. No one will flame you for it. Maybe you're wannabe mid laner, but as a rule of thumb, never leave a lane not pushed unless you are planning for a kill. Since mid wants to switch with bot side, I decided to leave that tower and go for the Herald. I have this habit that I developed, that just by looking at the minimap and the progress of my team health bar, I can get a feeling if we are winning or losing the fight. We traded Katarina for Riven, and in my opinion that is a very good trade, because what is left is Udyr and Lissandra to initiate and engage, and both of those champions do passive engages, not aggressive ones. Hence I'll use this Herald as a ride to push further this pressure and negate the fact that we lost Katarina. Now I was thinking in my mind, if I use my ultimate aggressively, I can scare the enemy into backing off and letting Herald perform the second crash, but that sneaky homeless dude managed to kill it. And with that, I found myself in a weird situation. Slowed, polymorphed, and damaged. The only thing left was a spit on the face, but we managed to do some serious damage to the enemy team. Now, this is what we call overstaying our welcome. The best possible decision now is to fight backward, get all the resources in the enemy jungle, and place wards as much as we can. But the team decided to stay in theory. This is a very bad call, but in reality, sometimes what is good in theory is horrific in practice and vice versa. But this is what makes League a beautiful game and a terror place. Things never goes according to the plan. Either they go into a much better scenario, or in the worst possible disaster known to history. For 1 second, I imagined that Riven get a pentakill. Thank God it turned out like this, because I would be so mad to myself because no one forced me to stay, and this was my decision. Hence, this mistake was solely on myself. But in the end, I should feel safe, because I have a team with a blind rock, a disabled tree, a bear with bipolar, a teenager with schizophrenia, and a woman with love issues. Nothing can go wrong than this, in my opinion. Whenever you read these type of messages, because every time they are fake. As long they didn't surrender, just keep playing in the same manner you were playing to reach this stage. Get all the buffs, the drakes, and the farm. We all want to rush winning games, but that when the mistakes start happening, never ask from your team more than what they are already doing. You should always lead by example. And as a Volibear player, I think skirmishes are always better than full deathmatch team fights, because with the bear we can tank some damage, but not all the damage, and we do a lot of damage if left alone, not in the heat of battle. So yeah, 1v1 to a 3v3 is always better for Volibear in my humble opinion. Also take advantage of your ad carry. It might seem as kiting and peeling, but in reality it is baiting and manipulating. We know they want to kill the carry. They just don't know that I want to kill them all with their nexus under their fountain. This call is simply a bait. We actually don't need the Baron buff, we just need to draw them into the jungle. Since Mr. Groot here can cover the whole river with his ultimate, yes, it is broken if used properly. And with Katarina and the Rock we can get a really good engage, and all that is left for me is to pick up stray enemies or peel for the ad carry. But this chase was not motivated by the looks of Lucian. This is not the Captain Volibear skin. It just happened you were there where I was looking nothing more and nothing else. But sadly it turned out that Idris Elba from the Gunslinger didn't die and I died instead. Rip my dear Volibear. The earlier call, as good as it seemed, failed due to our poor judgment and focus. The high-value target are Riven, Lissandra, then Lucian in that order. And if we manage to kill Lulu first, then Lucian is out of the equation. And that leaves only the solo laners. This Udyr in this game after that earlier death in my red buff got his morale destroyed. It happens. And there is no shame in it. The issue is that the League community is not much forgiven when the jungler misplays because you should always perform above average. Even average performance is considered an insult these days. The only thing that I can tell anyone saying these ideas to me Either shut the fuck up or carry the game. I will only tolerate your flame and toxicity if you're carrying me on your back spriting to the victory. Otherwise, let's enjoy our loss in silence. This here is a hard call. We can take both towers and leave the Nexus open, but I don't trust much my team without their ultimate spells. We can get a better chance later if we have some patience. But again, and specifically in this game, a lot of lucky events turned good into our favor, and I decided to stay just in case they needed a stun, nothing more and nothing less. Also, the enemy now are like rabid dogs. If they manage to get an ace, then they are back in the game and it can be anyone's win. In this game, I went for the Heart Steel second buy, because I wanted to test an old strategy with Volibear, and that is to stack health and see if it is still effective. And to be honest, I didn't feel much of a difference. Maybe in this fight where I got considerable stacks, but I feel having Randuin's or Deadman's Plate would have made a better impact on the game. But it is good to know since we are winning, I can tolerate some radical experiments as long as it is not something that is purely troll. Well, again, a 700 health heal feels pretty good in this moment. I'm sure Udyr have that look on his face. Sorry guys, but I am out, and the only that can burst me in this neighborhood is Lucian, with his rodent support. This ad carry is a weird champion, a caster with almost infinite mobility that have mid-range abilities. It is pretty cool if you ask me. It's just that this game doesn't respect their own champions. Next year they will make the same champion just with a different color. They would call it the Red Revolver, and it will be just old Lucian with Caitlyn's ultimate that have Graves effect if it kills its target. I knew that this Katarina had something good in it. We were both thinking the same thing. Feels good, man. Now that we killed Riven first, everyone can play freely the game. If I didn't take Heartsteel, maybe taking Anathema's chains and using it on Lucian to cripple those slippery feet. Minus 20% tenacity can do a lot against our composition, and it is very cheap. Let's leave this thought to another time then. With this, my dear viewers, I leave you a good start of the week and successful grind on your climb. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and also like video. Until our next encounter, take care and peace.